Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and the Eagles suck. This is Up From the Underground presents Foot... I had a feeling you guys would appreciate that. I said it was going to be a surprise.
If you choke, I'm a Pop-Tart.
This is Up From the Underground presents Football, Week 13. You know, there are a lot of really interesting things that we can discuss, but before we do that, I want to introduce the panelists. Of course, the man over here, he always wonders if you're eating his cheeseburger, the notorious Mr. Beagle.
He's eating my Pop-Tart now.
And the man next to him believes that he is your cheeseburger, Captain Shenanigans.
Well, I am meaty and delicious.
And cheesy, too.
And cheesy, yes.
Yeah, very much
so
that.
cheesy.
There are so many things that we can discuss as far as how Week 12 went down, but quite frankly, guys, I only want to discuss one specific thing. And that is what has been officially dubbed as the Thanksgiving Day Massacre.
I'm feeling a little schadenfreudish at watching that game. It was kind of fun to watch them fall on their asses.
It was.
The captain and I were actually lucky enough to get tickets to the game. People would say, what do you mean lucky? Well, let's put it this way. The tickets were free. We got a ton of free stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw Rex Ryan on the subway.
Yes, we did.
We also saw Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah,
that
we
is
also
true.
saw Lenny Kravitz.
A free Lenny Kravitz concert. So all in all, it wasn't a bad experience.
The experience was good. The game kind of sucked.
But I just don't know what to make of this team. It's just, as a fan, it's devastating to see something like that happen, especially when you lose like that to a rival. But one of the things that can still be said about that team is, believe it or not, their defense is still pretty decent. If you think about it, the defense only gave up 10 points. The rest was given up by offensive miscoordination, tons of fumbles from both the offense
That's putting it lightly.
and the special teams. And that was pretty much what really lost the game. The defense looks pretty solid. Cromartie, Wilson, Landry, and Bell, they all did a great job that night.
For a defense that's lacking its star and captain, they've actually patched it quite well. I have to admit. But it's the offense that is burying the Jets right now. It is a literal circus out there.
It's like the Bears were a few weeks ago.
Yeah, pretty much. They look like a circus.
There is another thing that I would want to talk about after the Jets, but maybe we won't have time for that. But anyway, Fireman Ed resigns as the official mascot of the Jets.
That's actually one of my lessons learned.
Hero or fraud? I mean, here's the thing. He did not say that he is officially no longer going to Jets games. And you know something? If I were him, I would have walked out before halftime too.
I would have walked out a long time ago.
No.
He said he's retiring the persona.
Yeah.
That's his actual quote. He'll still be at Jets games, just not as Fireman Ed.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, he wasn't paid to do this.
I think this was all in bad taste, quite honestly. Well, first of all, I think the media is making way too big of a deal of it.
Oh, we'll get into that later.
But you don't, if you were gonna do this, wait till the end of the season. Don't do it in the middle, because you know what? It's gonna damage the fan base. There's a guy who's been with the team since 1975, unofficially. Yeah, they haven't really won anything since he started.
Since before I was born.
Yeah, but I mean, with a team that's struggling, especially with a quarterback who's struggling that you're supporting, all of a sudden you leave, you're not supporting him anymore.
Well, it's not that he wasn't supporting. I mean, look, the guy was getting a lot of flack because he was wearing the Sanchez jersey, which, again, really isn't something the media needs to eat up with a spoon, but it was stupid.
If this guy is going to represent a New York professional sports franchise as its representative fan, then he's got to have a bigger set than he has and just shrug off that flack he got from other fans. So what? He's a New Yorker. He should be able to take it.
No, and you're completely right. But the problem is that he owes nothing to the team. This isn't about the team anymore. This is about the fan base. And the fan base is what caused this whole kerfuffle in the first place.
It's the whole quarterback debacle.
New Yorkers by birthright are a bunch of jerks. Okay? But as a New Yorker, you should be able to take it. Alright? If you really felt that, badly about being made fun of or being yelled at for wearing a Sanchez jersey, switch jerseys. He's done it before. Nobody at this point likes Sanchez anymore, okay? I have a friend, in fact, that has a Sanchez jersey and actually refuses to wear it for the rest of the season. Nobody supports Sanchez, and I don't blame him for bailing out on something that A, he's not paid to do, B, he's not recognized for being a true fan, and C, the fandom quit on him in the first place.
Captain, I completely disagree with you. I think he should have stuck with it. Because, you know, you are the face of the fan base at that point. Okay, this is before you retire. And, you know what? Stand up, make a statement. You get on radio shows, make a statement saying that we have to come together to support an ailing team. You know, people do this all the time. They're doing it in Kansas City, believe it or not. They're doing it in Jacksonville. They did it in Denver last year when the team was, 3-6.
Yep.
You know what? Stand up, be an example, set an example, and people will follow you. You have such a huge following. He had like 175,000 Twitter followers. He has a following. You said it yourself, Mr. Gnome. He's the only man in the world besides the mayor who can get 77,000 New Yorkers to shut up in one shot.
Yeah,
I'm not
in
saying
one room.
No.
the power he has is insurmountable, and he should have used it to rally the troops instead of saying you guys are on your own.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not like arguing with you. I think you're actually totally correct.
You should be arguing with me because I like arguing with you.
Damn it.
I'm ranting Beagle!
Yes. No, the point is that you're right, and so am I. I don't blame him for giving up on a disparate, despicable fan base as it is right now. Getting New Yorkers to unite in something takes something of a tragedy at which this club's level is not at yet.
That's
okay.
I agree with you, Captain, because that's the problem with being New Yorkers. Look at Yankee fans. The minute one guy strikes out or one guy doesn't pitch well, the boos start to flood Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah. Do you know that last year in the 2011 season, Mariano Rivera, arguably one of the most beloved Yankees in recent memory, got booed?
The Mets fans are more loyal than Yankee fans at times. I've seen it. It's crazy if you think about it.
Not right now.
Today's Yankees fans are so clueless as to what constitutes an actual player versus an overpaid player.
Constitutes, not constituents.
Constitutes. No, I was going for something different. Anyways, the point is that New Yorkers are a rough and tumble sort that don't take BS lying down.
I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I mean, we really shouldn't be talking about the Yankees, but watch the Yankee fan base dwindle when the Yankees don't make the playoffs. That's what happens.
Yep.
Where were their fans in the 1980s?
Nowhere.
The Mets fans in the early 90s, believe it or not, they were there.
You know, on a personal note, I've been a Jets fan since 1994. I was there with the Neil O'Donnell 1-15 season.
That was the year I became a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a fan through this 6-10 season.
Well, let me ask you guys another
6-10,
question.
Jeez.
Do you think that it would be a mistake, because there are rumors going through the media about McElroy, their third stringer at this point, that because of his statements from last year, there's a good chance that they will toss him next year? I feel that he is someone that could be used as a tool, because let's face it, they're not putting Tebow in. The players have said they don't like him. Sperano feels he has no use for him. So why not, if Sanchez keeps performing like this, put him on the bench, put McElroy in and say, let's see if you can do something?
Because Kellen Clemens has more skill than McElroy does. That's why.
How do you know?
Because I saw his college
He's
days.
an SEC championship quarterback.
And your point is?
I feel that he could do something if they just try and use him.
Because at this point, no, I agree with you. At this point, why the hell not? Just give it a shot. It doesn't matter if you're going to stick with Sanchez, because why the hell not? How much worse can he get? Stick in Tebow for an entire game, because look what he did in Denver last year.
But that's what I'm saying. I just don't think that they're going to use Tebow.
Mr. Gnome, name another starting quarterback in the NFL from Alabama.
Well, Joe Namath was.
Yeah, but Joe Namath
how
is
long
so
ago?
overrated.
I mean,
he was very overrated.
Alabama produces several great players.
Yes.
None are quarterbacks.
Ain't that the truth?
Best player they produced last year was Trent Richardson.
And look what happened to the last couple of SEC quarterbacks that got drafted.
Well, Cam Newton, his team may not be doing very well,
He still plays
but he is
well.
playing very well. He's playing on a high level right now. It's not his
Okay,
fault.
no,
I don't want to say it, but I feel like he's falling into what I like to call the Vince Young pit.
He's 22 years old.
Exactly. He's
Give him a
falling
chance.
into the Vince Young pit.
In
It
the
happened to him.
midst, in the midst of all,
Vince Young was Texas.
in the midst of all the doom and gloom, as crazy as it may seem, the Jets' playoff hopes are still very much alive.
I wouldn't say very much.
So
it is mathematically and somewhat realistically possible.
It is statistically possible for them to make the playoffs.
It's more than statistically. I've actually done the calculations. The Jets would have to win 4 out of the next 5 games,
And it's possible.
and
It's
the
definitely
following
possible.
4 teams would have to lose at least. Actually, 2 teams would have to lose the rest of their games, and 2 teams would have to lose 3 out of the next 5.
But the likelihood of that happening is like, yeah.
I think that the Colts can lose 3 of those 5 that they're going to
The
play.
Colts can lose
The
3 of
Colts
those
can
5,
lose.
and so can the Dolphins.
and
Yeah, of
so
course.
and the Bengals have a good chance of doing so too,
No.
as do the
The
Steelers.
I like the
Bengals and
two of
Steelers
those.
have to lose every game.
Every game, yeah. And that's going to be difficult for them to do.
The only game I see the Steelers losing is against the Giants and against the Ravens.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are really the only 2 games I see them losing.
Wait, aren't they playing the Ravens this week?
They are.
Yes.
They are? Oh.
That's pretty quick.
Wait,
In Baltimore.
who the hell is quartering for them?
We don't know.
The Charlie Batch experiment was a failure.
They say that Roethlisberger will be back this week.
I didn't hear that.
Well,
but-
it's all going to be based on who starts. That's all I'm
Yeah.
going to say
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
I mean, look, Flat Can's starting, so that's all that matters. And speaking of Baltimore, it's not happening this week, but how incredible is the fact that Ray Lewis may
Ray
show
Lewis
up
is
for
going
the
to probably
playoffs
come
over.
up for,
Yeah.
like, I'd say, like, the last 3
Well,
weeks.
As far as I'm concerned, it's like he's never left. He's still there every game, still doing that
He's
big
giving a speech.
opening speech.
I'll tell you something. You know the game I'm most looking forward to for the rest of the season? There are 2 games for the rest of the season, that I'm most looking forward to. Obviously, the Monday night matchup between Houston and New England.
Okay,
gonna be
that'll be
exciting.
interesting.
But, I think it's Week 16, Baltimore at Washington.
That'll be
The
interesting.
Battle of
Okay.
Maryland. It's only
That's-
happened once before.
Once? Really?
In D.C.
Oh, okay.
It's happened twice in Baltimore. It's only the second time it's happened
so I'm
in
like, wait a
D.C.
second, I know they've played more than once.
No.
Interesting.
And the way that the Redskins are rolling, it's going to be
might
an
be
interesting
possible. It's going
matchup,
to be an interesting, yeah.
given
I
what the
agree
Ravens
with
do
you.
away from home. But will it be an away game, considering the distance between Baltimore and D.C.?
Yes, in that they're not playing at their own stadium. No, in that traveling will be non-existent.
It's not the travel, it's the fan base. And you know there will be fans in D.C.
Oh, yeah.
wearing the purple.
Believe it or not, for the longest time, Washington was the only DC-Baltimore team. Ever since, the Colts bolted,
In 84.
midnight, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go to the tallies, but before we do so, Captain Station Identification.
Okay, faithful viewers / listeners, if you don't already know by now, and what week are we up to?
13.
We're up to week 13. If you've been listening to us, and I really hope you have been, because we're absolutely hilarious, you should already know that you're watching Football Goulash.
Self-promotion at its best.
Oh yeah.
Tally.
That's why I'm excellent at it.
Guess who gets the belt?
Me!
And according to Mr. Beagle off the record, he said to me that there's pretty much a good chance that you're pretty much taking it for the rest of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What I said was you have a 6-game lead
6
over
games.
me, which,
Yep.
with only 5 weeks remaining, is pretty insurmountable.
It's gonna be
considering
difficult.
we're probably picking most of the same teams.
And
Well-
also considering that we've broken the record 3 weeks in a row for holy trifectas.
Well, who knows if we can go to 13 this week.
We'll
13 this
see.
week. Oh, boy.
Anyway, let's tally. I'm glad to congratulate the both of you for breaking 100.
What?
Thursday night game. The New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
I want the man who has been praising the Falcons all season to begin with this one. Mr. Beagle, go.
This scares me, quite honestly, because Atlanta has won 10 games this season. And the margin of victory has been so slight,
As of late.
yeah, that I'm kind of at a loss as to explain why they're still winning. So
They're like the best worst team or the worst best team.
the best way to determine whether Atlanta will win a game is to look at the opposing team. And this week it's the Saints who will match the Falcons point for point offensively.
They're the only ones who beat the Falcons this season.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But Atlanta at home, it's just too tough for the Saints as far as defensively. It's going to be very loud in there. And I think Atlanta will win. It's going to be very close.
Man, I flip-flop about this one ever since I heard it in a commercial last week. Saints versus Falcons. I said before that, yeah, the Saints are the only one to give the Falcons a little notch in their loss column this year. And they did it while they were in New Orleans, of all places. Now, the Falcons have a really good record at home, and Matt Ryan is almost undefeatable when he's at home. It's tough, and I almost picked the Saints. Then again, it's the one thing that really bothers me. Matt Ryan is so good when playing in Atlanta, and the crowd is so noisy. I don't think the Saints defense can keep up with them. It's going to be close. The Falcons are going to win by a field goal. In overtime. This is the game that's going to go into overtime. Guaranteed.
I'm going to pick the Falcons, too. And it's just because of the fact that even though I can't stand that team, and I can't stand Matt Ryan and all of that mumbo-jumbo, again, you can't deny the fact that they are that strong at home, and that how Matt Ryan is just so good at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's two dome teams against each other, so it's not going to make much of a difference for New Orleans, but again, I just feel that it's going to be the Falcons on top here. Your Sunday games will begin with the 1 o'clockers. Let's go with the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. Wait a second?
No, seriously. Think about it. No, seriously.
Please explain this
Think about it.
Captain.
Originally, I went with this to troll all you faithful viewers because I was getting sick of these Game of the Week things that never really showed up or ended up being Games of the Week. Jaguars versus Bills. Two not even mediocre teams battling each other for last place. Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be fun to watch because this is the toilet bowl, I think, of the season. Both teams have had ups and then major downs. I feel like when you throw two cracktastic teams against each other, magic happens. Both teams have something to prove at this point. We can win at least one more game this season. And that's what both these teams are out to prove. If this is the game we're going to win, this should be it. That's what both of them are saying.
Who gets the victory?
Who gets the victory? I'm going with the one that are on the roll right now. I'm going with the Jaguars.
I am picking the Jaguars as well, and I'm telling you this right now, based on how they're doing at this point in time, with Chad Henne as your starting quarterback, this is going to be a team that is going to end the season not with the most formidable record, but based on what they've seen since Chad Henne took the starting quarterback slot, they're going to build on this. Mm-hmm. Shorts, Blackman, Jones-Drew, when he gets better, if he stays with Jacksonville, you're going to see a very different, possibly even a playoff contending Jaguars team next season.
Whoa, I don't want to go that far.
I think that can happen. And I'm giving the Jaguars the victory here because I want Buffalo to keep losing.
This is where I might claw something back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picking Buffalo.
You're picking Buffalo. I knew you would.
At home.
Yeah.
Because they're doing their whiteout this week.
And the last time they did a whiteout last year against the Jets, they lost!
Well, that's because the Jets did a green out. Which is ugly. They did that on Thanksgiving.
I don't like the all greens.
Oh man, no.
Yeah, they got to stick with the white with the blue, green.
I think Buffalo will win because I think that Chad Henne is a lifetime Southern quarterback. Miami and Jacksonville. I'm going to say Buffalo, and I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
For really no reason except that Buffalo is home up north, and
it's true.
Given what the weather is outside right now,
it's going to be butt-freezingly cold. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville lost, but it's going to be a fun game to watch nonetheless.
Let's talk about a place that's going to be even colder. Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks at the Chicago Bears.
Lord.
If someone would have told me that Jay Cutler was going to start last weekend, I wouldn't have picked the Vikings to win.
Wine.
You have to understand.
That's what I said.
You want some cheese with that wine?
If Jay Cutler is your starting quarterback, the Chicago Bears are winning this
really
game.
is the keystone to that team.
He
Believe
really
it or not.
is. As great as... Well, they didn't really play that well when Campbell was starting.
Well, that's because Jason Campbell is just very Jason Campbell-y.
No, the Bears are going to get back on track. They're going to pull ahead of the Green Bay Packers after the loss that they sustained against New York.
Whoosh.
And I'm picking the Bears to win this game in Soldier Field.
I'm going to pick the Bears because these are the top two defenses. Two of the top three defenses in the league. The third being San Francisco.
Yeah, I put San Francisco ahead of Seattle for sure.
Well, Seattle has been, coughing it up as of late. But they got this appeal thing. They got these 4 suspensions above their heads right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're currently under appeal, and so those players will play this week.
They will play Sunday, yeah.
But the Bears are still going to be too strong for them.
Holy trifecta, boys and girls. It's Bears are going to win this one. A, they're at Soldier Field. B, Cutler's back and looking pretty Jay Cutlery, which isn't exactly bad at all. So, and the Seahawks, again, have to travel halfway across the country, and they're notoriously bad with that.
Interesting note, by the way, about this past week when Seattle visited Miami. It is the furthest any professional sports team has to travel. It is actually further than the Vancouver Canucks visiting the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Frightening.
3,267 miles.
That's a lot of miles.
Well, eventually Edmonton's probably going to have that commute when they possibly move to Seattle.
If it's not in a colorful
it's
draft,
probably
I'm
further
not paying
from
attention to
Edmonton, if you think about it.
Edmonton's up there, though.
Okay, here's a game that I really want to hear your thoughts on before I jump in with my pick. The Arizona Cardinals are the New York Jets. After the Thanksgiving Day massacre, the Jets are now facing a team that, can they beat? Yes, but if you think about it, maybe not from a defensive perspective, they're pretty evenly matched.
The Jets are going to win this easily.
Easily.
And I say that for a few reasons.
Okay.
One, the Jets are still coached by Rex Ryan, who perseveres and who tries super hard every time. Two, the Cardinals are banged up. They lost another offensive lineman for the season, and they've already given up too many sacks
and that
with a third string quarterback in there.
Yeah.
And three, with Lindley in there, the Cardinals' primary offense is the running game with Beanie Wells, who's not particularly that fast and not particularly that powerful. The Jets are designed to stop just such a back.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be a low-scoring game, but the Jets will win.
It's going to be like 16-7.
This is basically where the Jets will start off by getting their possible final season record at 9-7, by basically taking all these games and just running with them. I feel that the Jets are stronger on the defensive end, and that is going to be the X factor in this game. They'll stop the run. The secondary is so strong. Cromartie is going to be on Fitzgerald like a fat kid on a cupcake. No doubt in my mind the Jets will slightly redeem themselves and get their fans to hoot and holler just a little while longer.
I'm going to go with the Jets, but I agree with Mr. Beagle in that it's going to be a low-scoring game. If the Jets' offense can keep their damn hands on the ball and their special teams can stop being so special, maybe they can score a couple of points. It'll be more than enough to handle a bruised and banged up Cardinals team that has not looked good in like 3/4 of a season already. So, Jets will win.
Ode to the nut shot, the Indianapolis Colts against the Detroit Lions.
Oh boy.
I don't believe that was intentional.
It was not intentional. You look at the replays, he didn't fling out his foot. The dude got in his way and flung him over.
But because of the fact that it's Ndamukong Suh and he did what he did, everybody's all on a tizzy.
He has a rap sheet. Don't get that wrong. And he was voted dirtiest player in the game for a very good reason. But that was completely unintentional, and I think Schaub had more than just his ego bruised with that kick.
Well, since you're talking, Captain, who do you think is going to win this game?
I don't know. Seriously.
Do you want
this is a tough game. I'm going to let you two hash it out.
This is a game that has playoff implications for one team and really is just a filler for the other. The Lions know that even if they went out, there's really no shot at the playoffs. So they're going to try and play spoiler. Sue is going to be dirty. Schwartz is going to mismanage time again.
Like he always does.
And the Colts are going to win.
Convincing. What do you have to say?
By the way, you know that the two Colts cheerleaders shaved their head.
Yes.
In support of Chuck Pagano. They did it on live TV.
Yeah. You can watch the replays on YouTube, actually.
I think that altogether Detroit's a stronger team. That's just the way I look at it. This franchise that Detroit is now is not like, unfortunately, what Barry Sanders had to go through. This is a completely revamped Lions franchise. And I think that they are going to play spoiler, and I still think that they're going to just do whatever they possibly can to just keep getting wins on the board, because the NFC North is, without a doubt at this point in time, the strongest division in the NFC. And
Bold.
these 4 teams are literally duking it out right now. And I think that the Lions are still going to try and keep themselves in the fight, and I think the Lions are going to win it.
Both are very convincing arguments. Also, they are playing in Ford Field, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's another argument. I think that the way the Lions have looked this season so far, they're not a bad team, but if you watch them play, and the TVs have a little scrolling thing of Jim Schwartz on the sidelines, you look at his face and you look at him calling plays. He looks shifty-eyed and clueless, and that's not a good thing to have when you have such a talented team like the Lions. On the other hand, the Colts have been on a roll recently. They've looked good for the majority of the season. I feel like the Lions are going to dig the hole that they're in deeper this season by playing dirty and by, like Mr. Beagle said, mismanaging clocks and calling wacky plays, and I think that's going to work out in favor of the Colts.
You just want to agree with me so you don't...
No, I'm not trying to be that guy.
I don't think so, because, the Colts, yes, they're on a roll, but did they really shut down one of the better teams? I mean, look at what they had to go through last week.
Yeah, but I don't think the Lions are one of those better teams.
I don't think they're one of those worser teams.
No, they're not. But so far this season, the Colts have been beating teams like the Lions.
Let's put it this way. It's not a trifecta, so I'll take it. Now let's talk about a very debatable game.
No.
Based on the performances of both of these teams last week, what do you have to say, guys, about the Vikings versus the Packers?
Boosh!
I had a feeling someone was going to
that would have happened.
NFC North Classic.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a game for the ages.
Really?
Because Percy Harvin might be back. Although, quite honestly,
headaches?
If he does not come back, then it's a no contest. Minnesota, for all the Peterson and Jared Allen tomfoolery, and for all the fantastic stats and numbers that those guys put up, without Percy Harvin, this team is lost. Especially when Adrian Peterson misses the bus.
Oh, yeah. He's a short bus kind of kid.
It's just gonna, the Packers' ego is bruised.
Very much so.
It's gonna be an epic game up in Lambeau. You're gonna see a few Lambeau leaps, and Greg Jennings might be back as well, so that might contribute as well. Unfortunately, it's Tuesday now. We won't know the injury report until Thursday. So whether or not Greg Jennings and Percy Harvin play is a huge factor in this game. Also, Clay Matthews. Who's currently out.
Yeah.
So if any one of those guys comes back or doesn't come back, will be a huge factor in who wins this game. As it stands now, it looks like Percy Harvin is still out. It looks like Greg Jennings is still out, and Clay Matthews is still out. What'll happen on Thursday and Friday? We don't know. My win goes to the Green Bay Packers. They're gonna make a strong showing in this. And if Percy Harvin is out, Minnesota will be lost.
I was going to pick the Packers right off the bat. Not because I think the Vikings are a bad team, but because they're in Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And traditionally, the Packers have been very, very strong there. And after last week's hootenanny against the Giants, the Packers are out for blood. And especially in a divisional smackdown like this, they're going to smack the Vikings down so hard. I don't think it's going to be that much of a contest.
I don't think that the Packers are going to let this happen again. I mean, what happened against the Giants, to me, was mind-boggling. I still could not believe that the Packers could barely even show up to that team. Because if I take a look at those two teams on paper, healthy, the Packers are way better than the Giants.
But look what happened last season in the playoffs when the Giants beat the Packers. I was in Boston when that happened.
Magic.
Actually. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the Packers are, like you said, Captain, out for blood. they don't want to let their spot slip right now. The Bears are now ahead of them. They don't bet, and that's
by one game?
By one game.
One
but
game.
that's as far as they want the Bears to go. They're going to keep trying to do what they can, and the Packers are still going to win this game.
Yeah.
Comment, like, and subscribe. And before we continue with the picks, we're going to go to the Ranting Beagle with a little bit of get on the boat, get off the goat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever the hell you are. I am Mr. Beagle, and on this week's edition of Get on the Boat, Get off the Goat, we're focused on the highs and lows of Week 12. And it's a New York-themed party this week. Can you guess what my boat and goat are?
I kind of figured.
It's going to be a short one because it's pretty self-explanatory. The boat are the New York Giants, who are showing that their typical late-season swoon is a thing of the past. They're coming out strong, they're coming out hard, and they're coming out for blood. They played incredibly well. Even when their players were hurt, they still played well. The backups played well. David Wilson played well. Who? Exactly.
That guy.
The GOAT...
The
Can you
Jets.
guess? Yes, the Jets. My Jets. Hold on to the damn ball, and Brandon Moore, wrong place, wrong place. Sanchez, just watch where you're going, and I mean, how could you miss him? He's the size of a bus.
He's a truck, seriously.
Yeah, he should take a bus
That was
somewhere.
the first thing.
And again, if he gets on a bus that I'm on, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It'd be too heavy. I mean,
He's not heavy.
the way the Jets played on Thursday night, I mean, how hard it is to hold on to a football. I can't catch a ball to save my life, but when I have it, I can hold on to it. My stat of the week, and you guys might like this one.
Ooh.
So right now, first place in the NFC and first place in the AFC are the Atlanta Falcons and Houston Texans, respectively.
Correct.
Yeah.
Both teams play their games at home in a domed stadium.
Correct.
Do you know the first domed team to win the Super Bowl was the '99 St. Louis Rams?
Yes.
Teams have been playing in domes since the early 60s, and it took until 1999-2000 for a domed team to win a Super Bowl.
That was the greatest show on turf.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was the first domed team to win a Super Bowl since the history of Super Bowls.
You know what's funny is that most Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken, are in domes to begin with.
They are.
So, I don't know. I find that
But a
kind
dome
of-
team just never made it.
Yeah.
They made it to the
They
Super
made
Bowl.
it to the
Many
Super Bowl, never
times.
The
won,
Vikings
yeah.
made it in
a bunch of times.
70, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
But they
70s.
lost to the Chiefs huge.
Yes.
And some
They were
people
there
might
multiple times.
some people might argue that the Cowboys play in the dome stadium
It's
at
a
Texas
half a
Stadium,
dome.
but the playing field was always with the elements.
Correct.
In fact, it was a famous lineman that said that Texas Stadium has a hole in the roof so that God can watch his favorite team play. Anyway, I am Mr. Beagle, and that was Get on the Boat, Get off the Goat.
Yay!
Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Do we do a unison, guys?
No.
Okay. So
Really? Oh my goodness gracious.
Mr. Beagle, are you picking
really
the
gonna pick the
Titans to
Titans,
win
man?
this game?
No, but I think the unison thing is stupid.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Houston.
Well, I'm
Anyways, the point is Houston's going to win this.
Yeah, I'm picking the Texans. I mean, they're scaring me over the last two games. I mean, the last two games went into overtime, and they basically won those games with a squeak.
This
but
might be another one of those overtime squeakers.
Yeah, with Tennessee, it would just
Yeah.
be just plain sad.
They've been playing bad against these bad teams, so...
The Carolina Panthers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Why? Seriously. Is anybody going to watch this game?
Well, who's worse, Kansas City or Philadelphia?
Wait, fan-wise? Because that's easily Philly.
Yeah, easily.
Easily
No,
Philly.
defense-wise.
Oh, I don't know. That's kind of a toss-up. I'd
Well,
actually say the Eagles. 'Cause
okay.
they're supposed to be good. The Chiefs are not supposed to be good.
Well, the Chiefs did hold the Ravens to 9 points earlier this season.
A lot of people can hold the
But,
Ravens to
I
9
think
points.
Cam Newton is a more versatile quarterback than Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
So Panthers win.
I was going to say the Panthers anyway. I just feel bad for the Chiefs. I really do. You know what? Actually, I don't really feel bad for the Chiefs because they kind of dug their own hole for themselves. I feel bad for the Chiefs fan base. You know, solidarity, brothers. Keep with it. Sunshine will hit you soon.
I was actually thinking maybe give them a pity pick and give Kansas City the
Ooh,
win.
see, the
but-
last time I did that, I did it for the Browns, and they utterly betrayed me.
And then they beat the Steelers a few weeks later.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Go figure.
But, you see, here's the thing. I don't think that Kansas City possibly getting a win out of this game is far-fetched. even though Cam Newton is the better quarterback against Brady Quinn.
Is he starting?
Yeah.
Brady Quinn will be
there's
starting.
somebody else.
I mean, it's crazy to think that the Chiefs are doing so bad with the talent that they have. I mean, they got Dexter McCluster, Jamal Charles, Dwayne Bowe, but no, I'm going to keep giving it to the Panthers. San Francisco 49ers against the St. Louis Rams.
Oh, this is the one that ended in a tie the last time.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the same exact quarterbacks.
No, Kaepernick was not.
Kaepernick was not quarterback.
No, Smith was the quarterback.
Really? Because I remember by the end...
That's the game he got hurt.
Smith get knocked out?
That's the game he got hurt.
Yeah.
But Kaepernick did play, but he wasn't a starter.
Kaepernick didn't play? No, I didn't say he was a starter, but I could swear up and down I saw Kaepernick play.
By the way, Kellen Clemens did take a snap last week.
Wait, he exists?
Yeah, he's the backup to Sam Bradford.
Are you serious? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Anyways, I'm calling a tie.
What?
What, I'm not allowed to do that?
No, he
No,
can.
you're not.
He can.
But
okay, fine. I picked the 49ers.
So if one team wins or one team loses, he loses.
Exactly.
You sure you want to do that?
No, I'm picking the 49ers.
I'm picking the 49ers. I mean, there's no contest.
I'm picking the Rams.
You really are.
They went into Candlestick Park and put up 24 points against the league's top defense, arguably, and then they put up another 31 points against the Cardinals.
Anybody can put up 31 points against the Cardinals.
I can!
But they're good against their own division.
Blah, 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 blah. I think the Rams caught the 49ers by surprise the last time, and I don't think that's going to happen.
They've only
again.
lost one game in their division.
Rams.
Okay.
Fine. Make that 7-game lead.
The New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. If you both believe in Tannehill, so help me, I will slap the both of you.
The last time the Patriots went to Miami, Miami punted and pinned New England at their own 1-yard line. First play on that drive was a screen pass to Wes Welker, who ran 99 yards for a touchdown. Can you guess where I'm going with this?
Patriots win.
Patriots win.
Yeah,
I
mean,
no-brainer.
They may have no defense, but let me just put it this way. If their
terrible
opponent has no defense, prepare to get trounced.
See, I think the Patriots are completely overrated, not just on defense, but on offense also. They have the advantage of playing in a very crappy division.
You said this last week.
I did, and it still holds true. Does it not? Seriously. Does embarrassing the Jets make you a better team in the eyes of these talking heads and pollsters on the internet?
It's not the only team that they've embarrassed this year. This is not the only time they've gone like over 40 points a game.
But I'm saying, look at the point spreads on those games and against the teams they played.
But Patriots win, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so yeah. I'd hate to say it, but yeah.
Me too. Patriots win.
They're infuriating.
Anything to knock Miami down.
And their fans are just absolutely horrifying.
At least they let us take their free towels.
Free towels.
Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll take a break from the picks, and we're going to go to lessons learned. The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelts and no smoking signs. You have the floor, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gnome. There is a no smoking sign. Anyways, folks, faithful viewers, thanks for listening yet again. This is your captain speaking, in case you didn't know. Anyways, we just finished week 12, and we're up to week 13.
Correct.
Oh man, how much more can we take? Seriously.
5 more weeks.
5 more weeks, apparently.
Plus playoffs.
Oh yeah, that too. Are we going to do picks for that?
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Okay. Oh, alright, cool.
It's not going to count over the season.
It's not going to count.
No,
Yeah.
but more time to analyze.
Hells yes, alright. Anyways, the point being, lesson number 1. Eli plays like a big boy again. Throws 3 touchdowns days after Thanksgiving meal in which Dad threatened not to love him anymore. Archie is quoted as saying, "I still love Peyton more." The point being is that Eli woke up from whatever nap he was taking in midfield and decided to play offense. Eli, like Jay Cutler, as I mentioned before, is the keystone to the Giants team. If Eli doesn't play well, nobody plays well. You see what happens? He plays well, they beat the Packers, arguably one of the strongest teams in the NFL right now. Lesson number 2. Fireman Ed quits fandom. It's a sad day for everyone, but a reporter asked him, "What's up with that?" He says, "It's time to focus on my Jets QB tryout." Lesson number 3. Cincinnati refuses Oakland's return of Carson Palmer, despite a valid receipt. That trade was so unbelievably stupid stupid on Oakland's part that Cincinnati is probably crapping their pants with laughter over how well it managed out for them this year. The lesson being, don't overpay for a fat guy who hasn't played football in about a year and a half.
Didn't the Steelers do that with Flax?
Yes. Well, he's not fat.
No, he's not.
Yeah, well...
He did play last year.
He's just chubby. Hey. Anyways.
He's chunky!
Lesson number 4. Norv Turner was interviewed the other day. We didn't expect the Ravens to try for all 29 yards.
I gotta YouTube that.
That play was so horrifically bad for the Chargers that it kind of makes you wonder what was going through Norv Turner's mind when he called that defensive scheme on 4 and 29. Seriously. Lesson number 5. Titans-Jaguars happened. So does Rams-Cardinals. Why? Lesson number 6. Are the Falcons the worst, best team this season?
Yes.
At 10-1? Nope, it's the Texans.
Oh my god.
And for your bonus lesson this week, 4 Seahawks players are suspended. Kinda. They're allowed to play Sunday. Despite this, Pete Carroll to flee for USC job. And that are your lessons learned for week number 13.
You should go to Auburn instead.
The captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You are free to walk about the cabin while you comment, like, and subscribe to Football Goulash. Let's go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4 o'clock versus the Denver Broncos.
Bing!
Last one, guys.
Woo boy!
The reason why I picked this game was just because I am really enjoying watching Tampa Bay and I'm really enjoying watching Denver. These are two teams that just have that sense of completeness about them. They're all playing well as a team. Manning's turned what people thought was a lost cause of a Denver team into an AFC West leading team.
Granted, that's not too hard to do.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after looking lousy for God knows how long, is suddenly looking not too terrible. But who's going to get the win in this one? Of course it's going to go to the Broncos. It's Peyton Manning. And that's all.
You know, I'm not even looking at Peyton Manning in this matchup. Doug Martin, meet Von Miller. Josh Freeman, meet Doomerville.
Ka-slap.
Yeah, that's
all you need to know. Denver wins.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Denver is going to win because... I don't really know how better to explain it than durr. The Broncos are on such a roll. Peyton Manning looks like... he's friggin' Robo-Neck now, okay? He's amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if they put more machine parts in his arm besides his neck, you know what I mean? The point being is that the Denver defense is going to roll over the Bucs offense. It's going to be a slaughter.
Mr. Beagle has already taken a page out of the captain's book, and I'm going to do it this week. Fetch me the bucket! The Cleveland Browns against the Oakland Raiders.
Oh my god. Why is this happening?
I don't know what to say about this game, except for the fact that I will be picking the Browns.
I'll be picking the Browns too, because Oakland is so puke bucket worthy as of recent, and the Browns have actually not looked like poop.
The problem with the Browns is they're worse off than what the Bengals are. They basically are this team that has a little bit of talent. The problem is they just keep facing teams that are 10 times better than them.
I just don't know why the NFL has to play this game. I mean, seriously.
I have a
non-contenders that are not going to do anything.
But you want to know something? Mr. Beagle has to speak.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm going to pick the Browns to win, but I want a bonus win if I get this next prediction right.
Bonus?
Yes.
Okay.
The Browns will win by a score of 10-0. If the game ends 10-0, I want a bonus win.
No way, it doesn't work like that.
You didn't get, well, you know
you
what?
You get the tie stricken from your record.
And add it as a win?
No.
No.
You just
Dude,
get the tie
I was
stricken
the one that
from
said
record.
the Browns could beat the Steelers last week. I should have gotten a bonus win even though I picked the
Yeah,
Steelers.
that's true.
You
Wait,
still
what?
picked the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still picked the Steelers, but at least I was one of the only few people that thought the Browns could beat them.
I didn't.
And look where that got you.
Yeah,
Still picked the Steelers.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals against the San Diego Chargers. The San Diego Chargers are officially has-been. Say hello to the rising stars and possibly your AFC North wild card snatchers, the Cincinnati Bengals.
San Diego has just been terrible this season. The play calling has been miscalled. The offense has been mis-offensed, and the defense has just been non-existent. Bengals are going to win.
For the 17 people that'll be at the stadium, the Bengals will win.
Let's talk about a game that may in fact be a very exciting one.
Ooh.
The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens.
This game will not be exciting.
This is
Roethlisberger is
not-
going to play hurt, but he's not Tony Romo. He's not going to excel when he's hurt.
Nope.
And the Ravens at home?
Forget
Yeah,
it.
the Ravens.
Ravens.
The
No.
Ravens are going to win this one.
You know what's really funny? The captain and I were the two guys in this threesome here that did in fact say that the Ravens were going to be as strong as they were.
Menage a
You, Mr. Beagle, are the one that said that the Steelers were going to take the AFC North.
I
It's
didn't-
not completely out of...
I didn't know Roethlisberger was going to
Yeah.
crack a few ribs.
It's not completely ridiculous, as you're saying. You know, I mentioned earlier in our preseason show about the fall of dynasties. You know, and Pittsburgh is definitely a great example of this in our, you know, that we're witnessing as we're talking.
I also didn't know that Pittsburgh's going to, contract fumbleitis.
Well, they do have
All four of them.
Butterballs Mendenhall.
All four of them. Dwyer, by the way, was named the starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have no one else.
We'll pull away from the picks and we're going to go to Hero and Bust. If you haven't subscribed to Up From the Underground Presents Football and Football Goulash, do it.
Wait.
As always, we begin with the hero of Week 12. Does anyone remember that scene in the end of The Mighty Ducks? That penalty shot
one?
that Charlie had to take in order to win the championship game? Well, Ray Rice basically gave us the title. Hey diddle diddle, Ray Rice up the middle.
I like that.
That's
He actually
actually,
did
yeah.
say that at his press conference. Less than 2 minutes on the clock and 4th and 29. Knowing that the game could go into overtime, something had to be done. I don't know how or why, but Flacco just lobs one right over to Ray Rice, and he carries it for more than he needed to in order for the Ravens to get the first down. It was the longest fourth down run since 2001.
Holy crap, really?
It brought the game into overtime and probably gave Norv Turner his San Diego pink slip. After the game was sealed with the winning field goal kick from Justin Tucker.
Oh yeah, he still exists.
He's a rookie.
I
The
know.
bust, I originally was going to pick the Jets, but I realized that there's a bigger bust in Week 12. Sports news media. For focusing on the wrong stories. We're supposed to focus on what's going on the field. But meanwhile, your top 3 headlines in the summation of Week 12 are Jamal Charles asking for Peyton Manning's autograph.
I like that, by the way.
Fireman Ed resigning as the Jets mascot. And, oh, the mental anguish and torment of Alex Smith, Tim Tebow, and Michael Vick. Oh, what these 3 guys are thinking while they're on the sidelines watching their teams play.
Screw Alex Smith.
That's
He's used to that.
not what we're supposed to be focusing on. The media is supposed to focus on the game of football!
Damn it!
They need to focus on the game of football and stop worrying about what's not included in the actual games. Your job is to tell people who won and who lost. Not how babyish someone is feeling, not how someone idolizes another player. Just comment on the frickin' game. End of story. That's it, and let's go to the Sunday night game, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. This could have been my toilet bowl of the week. I don't even know who to pick in this game. I may actually do a coin flip, but I want to hear you guys first.
Well, this game will give the Eagles hope. And you know what? They may actually pull it out. It would not surprise me. This is my backup for game of the week, actually.
Wow.
It would not surprise me if the Eagles win at Cowboy Stadium. But there's nobody better in the second quarter than Dallas. The problem is they always dig themselves too deep of a hole. Still going to go with Dallas because I still have faith in them to come out of the NFC East. But, I'm chewing at bits here. Eagles are dangerous right now, quite honestly. They're there to ruin your day right now.
Yeah.
And Dallas' day may be ruined, but I still am going to pick Dallas to win.
I may actually go with the Eagles on this one, mainly just because of the fact that the Cowboys are just one of those few teams that I just love to watch lose. Even though I like to watch the Eagles lose as well, I just don't... I mean, based on how they performed against Carolina, but then again, it's Carolina. And then again, this is Dallas. So, I'm just going to go out on a limb and go with the Eagles for the victory on this one.
See, I was going to say Dallas outright because, I mean, they are in Texas Stadium. And traditionally, the Cowboys are better in November when it doesn't really matter anymore for the Cowboys.
Not when it snows.
The point being is that Romo does well against bad teams. And the Eagles, I think it's safe to say, are a very bad team. Not to say that it's going to be tied by the end of the third quarter at 10-10. But I think the Cowboys are going to pull out a squeaker and... Andy Reid is going to lose his job.
I think he was going to lose his job no matter what.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even feel bad for the Eagles anymore.
We're running short of time here, so let's go into the Monday night game, and I really want you guys to discuss the New York Giants versus the Washington Redskins.
Giants.
Redskins.
Redskins.
Really? Well,
Because-
say hello to an 8-game lead.
Let
jerk.
me explain, man. Did you not watch that game that the Giants and the Redskins played this year?
No, I did. Of course I did.
We mentioned a couple of teams that were out for blood. When it comes to this game, the Redskins are out for more blood than the Giants can even provide.
No. The Giants have a lead in the NFC East. And what do they want to do right now more than anything is keep it. Okay? Especially in a divisional matchup like this. Eli's finally woken up. The Giants are going to play their defense, and they are going to hound RG3.
I'm going to build on what you said. I agree with you that they want to keep their lead, but they won't.
The Redskins are not a bad team, and I think the Redskins...
I'm not saying they're a bad team.
The Redskins are going to give them fits.
I'm sorry, but the Giants' D-line cannot handle a quarterback like RG3.
They can't.
I'm sure they
If
can.
the Giants were playing Carolina this year, they would have lost to Carolina.
The only way that the Giants are going to win this game is if they put Eli Manning in with time to spare. That's the only way they're going to win. It's the main goal of the Redskins in this game is to keep Eli Manning off the field.
Which they will do.
If they can do
let's
that,
see.
the Giants are not going to win because RG3, I don't think, is going to throw any major interceptions. He's not that quarterback. He's not that kind of guy. Because if he can't throw it, he's going to run it.
D'Angelo Hall will stick step for step with Victor Cruz, and...
I don't think so. I think Hall is completely overrated.
No.
And yes. Oh, yes.
And
I think
London Fletcher is arguably the best linebacker in the game, short of Ray Lewis.
I won't argue about that.
Only
Better
11...
than Urlacher.
No.
Well, he's younger anyway, by about
Younger.
3 months.
Yeah. Younger, better, no.
Has more career tackles.
So?
It's going to be a great game, plain and simple.
Oh, well, that escalated quickly.
It'll be a very good game.
It's going to be a good game, yeah.
Only
So
11
this-
trifectas this week.
So what, we dropped by 2?
And how many chances do I have to catch up?
Let's take a look here.
only 2.
You have the Bills on your own. You have the Rams on your own. Well, you got the Redskins with me.
So that's 3 that I
So
differ
that's 3.
with the captain.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's 3 that you differ with the captain.
So I may cut the lead
All right.
to 3.
I don't
just
think
hope
so.
I
I think
just
I'm
hope
gonna-
that I have a decent week this week because I really want to. I mean,
It would
I'm
suck if he won.
Oh my god.
yeah. If the Eagles actually
Just catch
beat the
up.
Cowboys-
Coming back from 10 games out.
Oh my god.
Hey, look! At least let me wear the belt just once.
No. I like this
Lose a
belt.
little
It's
weight,
nice
and then you can wear
Whoa,
it.
that was uncalled for.
Yeah.
Well, you are the pudgiest out of all 3 of us.
Well, that escalated quickly.
So that wraps up Week 13, guys, and we've got only 4 weeks left until playoffs. So
Yay.
that means one thing. So on behalf of the notorious Mr. Beagle and Captain Shenanigans,
Yo.
I am the Lawn Gnome reminding you to subscribe to our channel
Football goulash.
and leave you with a question. And if we don't get an answer, I'm just going to pick it out of the hat. We're beginning the 2-a-days next week, everybody, which means I'm going to go back to our preseason special. We're going to take a look at where we ranked all 4 of the teams in each division, and we're going to see exactly who was closer to being right on the money.
Huh.
So, the question is, Which two divisions, which two conferences, AFC and NFC, do you want us to start with first?
Huh, alright.
I am the Lawn Gnome, just reminding you once again that the Eagles suck.
I
call
had
this
the little
circus.
song stuck in my head the entire time.
Send in the Gladiators?
That's funny. That's not the song that was in my head.
What was the song in your head? Void filled!